I know. The people are coming. The people are coming. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted. I'm very excited to be working on some more projects for the summer. I have a few things I want to get done before we go on vacation in a couple of weeks, and I have some things that I want to do before school gets started back up again. Today's project stems off of my bedsheet dress that I used for my TikTok video. If you're not sure what that is, it's also a shorts on my channel here. I used a $4 bed sheet from Goodwill to make that dress, and I wore it to school one day. One of my students' parents said that they liked my dress, and I said, "Thanks, it's a bed sheet." And she said, "I know, we have those same sheets at my house." I laughed, she laughed, and she had said, "Hey, I have a bed sheet for you." Anybody else probably would have thought that was weird, given any other context, but for me, I was just like, great, perfect. So she brought this beautiful little floral bed sheet. I want to make a sundress out of this. This project's gonna be really simple. I'm gonna use a circle skirt for the skirt portion and just a bunch of rectangles for the bodice part. So if you're ready for that, we're gonna get ready to do that. The first step in making this dress is to cut your straps. I made mine 10 inches by 4 inches, and to just find the length, all I did was measure from above my bust over my back to my shoulder blade. Then I just folded them, pressed them, and prepared them to be sewn with a 1/2 inch seam allowance on one of the short sides and the long side. After sewing the straps closed, I went back to my ironing board where I had trimmed off the extra seam allowance I didn't need to keep it from being a little bulky on the inside of the strap. I turned the strap inside out using a little bit with my finger and then a little bit with the loop turner, pushed out the little corners at the top, and then I pressed both of them down flat. The next part with making the bodice is a little bit tricky, so I kind of tried to make a little diagram to show what I was talking about with this. The most important thing you need to remember is you're going to measure all the way around your bust, and you're going to add 4 inches to that. That'll be then cut in half to be your halfway point for one for the front and one for the back. I included my measurements in the diagram to kind of help with what I'm trying to explain here too. To find the length, you're going to need to measure down from just above your bust to your belly button and then add 2 inches for seam allowance here. This next part is a little bit confusing, but I tried to give myself a little diagram here. Measure across your chest from above your bust from one side to the other. Fold your bodice piece in half and mark the center point for that bust. Take half of that chest measurement, and then you're going to make a mark there and then mark 2 inches up from the side. So for example, mine was 13 inches across, so half of that is 6.5 inches, and then I measured 2 inches down and I just cut that corner off. So this is what your pieces will look like. You're going to need 4 of them that look like this. 2 are going to be your outer pieces and 2 are going to be your liner pieces. You're now going to take one of your outer pieces and one of your liner pieces. You're going to lay your outer piece right side up, and you're going to sandwich your straps in between. Make sure to line your straps up at the angle right there where the corners meet. And then you're going to take your lining piece and lay it on top as well. Pin across, and you're going to sew those with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. After this, you're going to turn your bodice pieces right side out, press it flat, and then you're going to top stitch as close as you can to the edge. I used about 1/8 of an inch on mine when I top stitched across. I had some troubles with this, so I had to really speed up this video because over the straps especially, I took it very, very slow. After a few minutes of trying to figure out how in the world I was supposed to attach the other pieces on for the back side, I ended up finally figuring out how to do this, but it was a little bit confusing at first. I just had to make sure that the straps were facing down toward the bottom of the pieces that were just sewn together. I laid the outer piece right side up, and then I laid those straps right there the same way I did the front piece, and I sandwiched them in between again to again repeat the process of stitching these panels together. I then had the tedious task of top stitching over this fabric again as well, which was not working out. I ended up not filming that one, but it was exact same as it was the first time I did the front panels. To finish off the raw edges on the inside, I pinned the front and back of one side and the lining pieces of that same side together. And I just used my serger and serged all the way down that side to enclose the raw edges and just make it all nice and finished on the inside. It was a bit bulky at the seams, and that did take a little bit of hand cranking on the serger to do. I just wanted to make sure that I went over it carefully as to not snag or put any holes in this fabric. After this part, the bodice is done, and you might want to try it on to see if it fits well. I unfortunately made the mistake of not doing so and found out later on that my bodice was too long, but I took care of that later on as well. The next step is to be working on the circle skirt for this, and again I drew a diagram on how that should look. So it isn't a perfect pretty diagram, but it just does get the reference for you. What you're going to do is you're going to fold your fabric twice, lengthways and then width, and then you're going to have 2 fold lines on either side. You're going to cut your waistline, and to figure out your waist measurement, it is the width of your entire waist divided by 6.28, and that's just 2 pi. And after you do that, what I did actually was add just 1 to 2 inches for ease and for gathering into my bodice, because I knew I did not want to have any zippers or any kind of closures. I just wanted this to be a simple slip over dress. And then the length is just however long you want to cut it. After I did that, I was ready to go ahead and start pinning my bodice to my skirt piece. I put in little gathers along the way because I knew that I did add enough for a little bit of extra ease onto mine, so that worked out really well. It was after I had serged the skirt to the bodice that I realized that the bodice was too long. I had made the mistake of not trying it, and my straps were a little bit long too. To fix the problem of the straps, I just pulled them up a little bit to see how much I needed to adjust them, and I kind of folded that bit down inside the front panel of the dress and just top stitched it down over my initial top stitching, and you can't even tell that it's there. To fix the bodice issue, however, I had figured out where I needed to cut the bodice down to, and I used my rotary cutter to just trim that all off. I left the serge edges of my initial bodice and skirt together though. I had ended up just pinning them together, sewing down, and made a channel for my elastic, so that just helped me cinch in my dress a little bit more. Last thing I needed to do was to serge the bottom and hem it, but unfortunately I could never get that footage to show up onto my computer to edit it, so that part is lost forever. With that being said though, that just means that the dress is done and we are ready to see how it looks. The dress is done. It's so cute, so flowy, perfect summery dress. I love it. The only thing is, it is polyester, so it is a little bit warm. It got warm outside. The dress turned out really nice, really flowy. Like I said, I super love it. It's just so good. I couldn't be happier with it. I did have just those couple little issues. The straps were a little bit too long, so I just kind of folded and tucked and then went back over my top stitching on them. And the bodice was too long at first, so I did go back and shorten it, but I used the extra fabric that I had inside to make a channel for some elastic, which I absolutely love, because then this just became a pullover dress. No zippers, no buttons. Perfect. I hope you guys love it. I can't wait to make more things. I'm hoping to have another video coming out soon. Please make sure to like, comment, leave a little comment about any questions that you had about making this, anything that you would like to see more of. If you have not yet, you can subscribe by clicking the little icon up here. And if you want to see something I did, I'd say recently, but it's been a little while, you can click right here and it will take you to one of those videos. Again, I'm hoping to make something more soon, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye!